Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Texas Association for College Admission Counseling Virtual College Fair. We're so excited to have you all here. I'm glad that you're all are able to make it. We have some wonderful college representatives here to tell you a little bit more about each of their institutions. But before I pass it off to them, I do want to make sure that we're all on the same page in terms of the format of tonight's session and to give you a few little tips and tricks before we kick things off. And so we have 5 institutions within this session. Each of them will present to you for 6 minutes about their institution. We'll have some time for some general questions after that, and then we will go from there. But I do want to make sure that you know how to ask questions to each of our presenters. You can ask questions at any point throughout this session, so do not feel like you need to save them till the end. Ask away throughout the whole session. And you can ask those questions through the Q&A button that you'll see down at the bottom of your screen. So send those at any point. Really, it's never too early to send questions. A reminder that your camera and microphone are off and they'll remain off for the full session so the presenters cannot see or hear you. Really, that Q&A is your best way to interact with them today. A reminder that there are additional sessions tonight and tomorrow, so feel free to check those out if you would like to sign up for more sessions. And a reminder that the session is being recorded and that the recording will be available at strivescan.com/Texas within the next few days if you need to review any of this information. But with that, we'll go ahead and kick things off with our first institution, which is American University of Paris.
Bonjour, my name is Jen Boucher, and I'm the Assistant Director of Admissions with the American University of Paris. AUP is a private urban liberal arts university located in the heart of Paris, France, in the same neighborhood, the 7th arrondissement, as the Eiffel Tower. We are indeed an American university just located abroad. So all of the classes are in English. We have that 4-year semester system, general education, elective, and major courses. Plus, all of our degrees are fully accredited American degrees. We have over 1,000 students from 100 countries. So our students come from all different backgrounds, beliefs, nationalities, ethnicities. You'll see here, though, about half our students do come from the US. At the same time, many are multilingual, well-traveled, studied abroad in the past, or have a desire for a global career. So they're usually a bit more internationally minded. 16 is the average class size, 9-to-1 is a student to faculty ratio, and just like our students, the faculty come from 30 countries and 70% speak 3 or more languages, so diversity across the board. We have 26 majors and 39 minors. The majors are in fields like business, politics, communications, arts, and humanities, with the international emphasis. We're also very big on interdisciplinary education and experiential learning, so many of the classes will actually take you out into the city or even the world to explore. As you know, we are located in the 7th arrondissement, the 7th neighborhood of district of Paris, France, and here you'll see where our exact campus location is. The Eiffel Tower is directly to the left. Hôtel des Invalides, where Napoleon is buried, is directly to the right, and we are nestled right in between. So think of us as an open urban campus where we have those buildings woven right into the city. It's about a 15-minute walk across campus, about maybe 5 or 10 minutes between classes. So everything's very condensed. We have tons of clubs and activities on campus, student run based on students' interests, plus internships, working, volunteering, so on and so forth. But one of my favorite events of the year is called the World's Fair. This is very similar to a college fair, but every table is a different country with food from their homeland. So bon appetit. We also offer study trips where students travel all over the world with their professor and classmates to experience what they're learning in the classroom in person. So think Shakespeare in London, psychology in Cairo, film in the Netherlands, marketing in Iceland, politics in Israel. These are great opportunities for students to experience what they've learned in the classroom in person, some of the academic standpoint. But we also offer cultural excursions, which are non-academic fun trips throughout France that range from a theater performance or perfume making class in Paris to visiting cities or regions like Normandy and Nice for the weekend. Housing is a little bit unique compared to most universities. Instead of a dorm with the RA and the meal plan, we have a more of an independent styled housing for our students. But rest assured, we do have a housing office that finds and furnishes residences for our students. But the type of residences will vary in future semesters because we're making changes due to COVID-19. So you could live in a homestay, an apartment, a resident hall, or we've even actually recently converted some hotels into resident halls, mainly due to the hotel industry hurting a bit due to COVID-19. So we're getting a little creative here. That housing is definitely guaranteed and required for freshmen for the first year or for transfer students for the first semester. To apply to AUP, you would submit the common application or apply to AUP directly. These are all of the application requirements with our average GPA at 3.3 unweighted. We're also test optional, always have been even before COVID-19, but the average SAT is 1265, average ACT is 30. On our website, you'll see application deadlines, but I like to refer to them more like guidelines because we have rolling admissions. So overall, once you apply to AUP, you should hear a response within about 3 to 4 weeks. Here you will see the cost of attendance in euros. So the cost in dollars may vary based on the exchange rate, but the grand total cost for essentially everything except for things like personal travel, like if you wanted to go to Italy for the weekend, for example, would be 50,402 euros for the entire academic school year. We offer several scholarship opportunities. Just for the sake of time, in summary, there's some merit-based, but also merit-need combination. The average award covers 1/3 of tuition, and the highest award covers 75% of tuition. Lastly, 94% of our students have a job or are in grad school within 1 year of graduation. 80% report an international element to their career, and 50% report that a professor personally helped them on their career path. So we are a smaller university, but with that comes that individualized attention. And we also have 20,000 alumni in 145 countries all over the world. So if you are looking for a global career, we could be an amazing starting point for you. That's a wrap. Thank you so much. I'm actually based in California, but your counselor, Mary Catherine, is based in the South. So there is her name and email address. Feel free to reach out to her if you ever have any questions. Take care, merci, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you so much, Jen. If you have any questions for American University of Paris, please put it down in the Q&A at the bottom. Next up, we have Bishop's University.
Thank you so much. I'm just going to share my screen. Give me 1 second. Are you guys able to see it? Not yet? Okay, perfect. So hi, my name is Jeremy. I am the representative for Bishop's University. Bishop's University is a Canadian university located in the French province of Quebec. So despite us being in a French province surrounded by a French community, our institution is 100% in English. All classes are done in English, evaluations are done in English, and the surrounding community itself, Lennoxville, part of Sherbrooke, is also in English. We do offer a traditional American experience, and I'll expand on that a little more further on. I do like to emphasize that there's so many great opportunities for students who may want to study in Canada. A lot of our, Canada has ranked #1 in best quality of life several years in a row. We have 9 of our Canadian universities ranked among the 200 top in the world, and 5 Canadian universities have ranked in the top 100 in terms of employability. So there's multiple opportunities. This is a greater image of where we are located per se in terms of our campus location. So we are 1.5 hours away from the second largest city in Canada, Montreal. Fun fact, I'm actually located there right now because of COVID-19. We're also 2 hours away from one of the oldest cities in Canada, Quebec City, 3.5 hours away from the capital, 7 hours away from Boston, and 8 hours away from New York. So we're really well located. In normal circumstances, students could also take advantage of traveling and seeing all across what Canada has to offer and the US has to offer in some of the major cities. However, the border is currently closed, but we're hoping that it's going to be open by fall 2021. This is a greater image of where we're located. It's living in the Eastern Townships. It's one of the most beautiful places within Quebec, and it has won multiple awards. One of the things from myself, I came from a larger city like Montreal, and I was kind of afraid of losing some of the larger aspects that I enjoyed from the city, being more in the rural suburb area of a city. And I could definitely attest that Sherbrooke has everything I was looking for, like trendy coffee shops, movie theaters, malls, nice trendy restaurants. All these different types of things are oriented. There's so many different colleges, universities, and schools all in one centralized area. So it is truly, truly oriented for students. And if you only drive 20 minutes out of the actual campus, you're going to be surrounded by the beauty of the Eastern Townships with multiple lakes, rivers, and mountains. And if someone who's interested in doing skiing, it's also one of the most beautiful places to go skiing as well. Bishop's University was founded in 1843, so we're one of the oldest campuses itself. We used to be part of New England at the time, and we're also older than Canada itself. So you can really see the true history of our actual buildings. Most of the buildings will have a traditional Anglo-Saxon build, but from the interior has been significantly renovated to adopt to modern technology and modern ways. We are also a smaller, tight-knit campus like Jen, so we're less than 3,000 students on our campus, 25% of which are international from across 80 countries across the world. 75% are domestic, meaning across Canada from various provinces. And since we offer a traditional American style experience, meaning a centralized campus experience, 97% of our entire student population is within walking distance. A centralized campus experience means that everything and anything from the campus is in one centralized piece of land, which makes the experience much more tight-knit, a closer community. It's something that's a little more unique in terms of Canada, but very common in terms of in the States. So that's what we mean by offering a traditional American experience. These are 5 divisional schools. So we have the School of Education, Natural Sciences and Mathematics, Social Sciences, Humanities, and the Williams School of Business. So the admission requirements do vary depending the domain that you would like to enter. However, I could discuss a little more further on where we are. Just like Jen, we are a liberal educational model, meaning that we do offer and encourage students to ask questions, become comfortable in their abilities. We saw a trend in employers seeing that they focus more on EQ skills, or known as soft skills, instead of IQ skills, the ability to retain information. So we're trying to encourage students by offering an educational model that allows them to be placed in different types of situations that develop the skills that employers love so much, like the ability to communicate, present, to network, the ability to learn quite quickly and be adaptable. Those types of things we do it in various ways, by experiential learning, which I'm going to get a little more into in the next slide, as well as forcing students in some ways to take classes completely outside of their domain. For example, I studied in business and I had to take classes in politics, drama, and computer science. So you could go in completely different ways that forces you to have a different way of thinking and learning and being evaluated. Part of our liberal education model and experiential learning, we have a whole bunch of opportunities to really create an academic excellence for students. So we do have services such as the career development counselors at Bishop's to see where you would like to place for, let's say your ultimate goal is to go into medicine and become a doctor. What are the steps that you have to achieve in order to achieve that ultimate goal? So you can meet with a career counselor and it'll create this path that's a lot more easier and organized for you to achieve your ultimate goals in the future. We are also part of our philosophy is to not hinder students on grammar mistakes, for example, that's not based purely on the contents of your paper. So we do offer a writing service. So any large term paper, any students is able to book an appointment with them. They're going to correct all of these small little grammar mistakes. And oftentimes we see a 10% increase in grades in terms of the students, because we really do want to see the students' grades completely evaluated. Is my time up, Sibel?
You have about 15, 20 seconds. Go ahead.
All right, perfect. Just before I let you guys go, these are the main industries inside of Canada in terms of startups. So we do have great internship opportunities and co-op opportunities that can be placed in these main domains. Before I go, this is our 80% GPA in order to get an out of 4. We are test optionals. We offer a whole bunch of scholarships as well. It is merits-based scholarships, and within your first year, you're expected to pay around $37,000 in tuition. However, the tuition itself, in terms of fees, is 25,000 Canadian dollars. So thank you so much. I'll be here until the end. So if you do have any more questions specifically for me and Bishop's University, I'll be right there. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. If anybody has any questions for Bishop's University, please put it down in the Q&A at the bottom. Next up, we have Brock University.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So hi, everyone, and thank you for being here tonight. My name is Karen Dancy, and I'm an International Recruitment Officer with Brock University and your regional representative. I'm also a proud two-time alumna of Brock, so I am always happy to speak further about the student experience. My email is on the screen, and I will also put it in the chat box for you. So Brock University is a public mid-sized Canadian university with just over 19,000 students and more than 100 different program options across 7 diverse faculties. 13% of our student body are students from outside of Canada. And while Brock may have the resources and benefits of a larger school, we do still operate on the seminar system, allowing students to benefit from small class sizes in tutorials, seminars, and labs of less than 24 students, which are a component of every course at Brock. So here is a map of Canada. You can find Brock in Southern Ontario, close to the New York border, and only about a 20-minute drive from the Niagara Falls. Brock's campus is located in the city of St. Catharines, which has about 160,000 residents and is ranked one of the safest and warmest cities in Canada. So you can see a closer snapshot of our location on the right-hand side of the screen. So Brock is located just 20 minutes from the Niagara Falls, 30 minutes from Buffalo, New York, and 60-minute drive from Toronto, Ontario. You'll be hearing more about the many benefits of studying in Canada from the other schools presenting tonight, but I did want to point out a few things. So all of our degrees are accepted worldwide, including back in the US, should you want to return for work or graduate studies. And we are also an affordable option for high quality education. Brock's tuition is around $20,000 US per year, and we do accept FAFSA if you qualify. So we did ask our international students at Brock why they ended up choosing us. As you can see, the top 5 reasons are on the screen. So in comparison to Toronto, a 1-bedroom apartment is 67% less expensive. Calculate that over the span of a 4-year degree, and that's quite a lot of money that you'll be saving in your pocket. As I mentioned earlier, Brock is a larger university with the benefits of a smaller school. So we do offer personalized international student support. So you are able to take part in transitional and ongoing academic, language, and social programming. We have been ranked #1 in Canada for mental health support services and #2 for overall student satisfaction. So we do put a lot of effort and resources into our student services to ensure that you are equipped to succeed. We also offer experiential education in 100% of our programs. This ranges from field courses to global internships to paid co-op work opportunities. And this does lead to one of Brock graduates enjoying one of the highest rates of postgraduate employment in Canada, with 96.5% finding work after graduating. So Brock also offers 2 Program Plus enhanced degree offerings for students interested in later pursuing a career in medicine or law. So this is our Law Plus and Med Plus programs. Brock also offers 40 different co-op programs. Co-op is the opportunity for paid work experience during your studies. Over the course of a 4-year undergraduate degree, you will be able to accumulate 12 months of relevant work experience. Co-op is a great way to not only make money, but also network in the field in what you eventually want to work in, build up your references, and gain work experience. It's a win-win-win, and your paid work experience does count toward your education. I do want to briefly speak about our admissions process, as it is a little bit different than the US. So first off, we will never require the SAT or the ACT. We also do not require references or personal essays for most of our undergraduate programs. So these are typically only required if you decide to apply to select optional scholarships. So undergraduate admissions is primarily based off your academic average. We do offer guaranteed entrance scholarships to students with the equivalent of an A- admissions average, coming directly from high school. At Brock, we do offer rolling admissions, and we are currently accepting applications for September 2021 for most of our programs. You are able to apply directly at brocu.ca, and we do offer start dates in January and May of each year. All program requirements are transparently listed on our website that can be accessed at brocu.ca/programs. So unfortunately, I don't have time to go through all of our 100+ programs today, but you can see a snapshot of them on the screen. Once again, they can be accessed at brocu.ca/programs. And then lastly, I do find that one of the best ways to get a feel for a school's community is to check us out on social media. So you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at BrockUINTL or at Brock University. And then lastly, you are able to scan the QR code if you do want to schedule a one-on-one call with me. You can also email me at Karen Dancy, so kdancy@brocu.ca, and I'd be happy to chat further. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Karen. If you have any questions for Brock University, please put it down in the Q&A down at the bottom. Next up, we have John Cabot University.
All right, thank you very much. I'll get my timer started. So my name is Ramsey. I'm a U.S. admissions counselor for John Cabot University, which is an American university in the heart of Rome. I'll jump right into it. Just as an addition, I also graduated from John Cabot close to 4 years ago. So if you guys have questions about that as well, I'd be happy to talk about my experience. But we are a small liberal arts institution, so we're just over 1,000 students. But you won't feel like it's a small school because we do have students from over 70 countries, and you are in a beautiful city like Rome. So you get those big city resources, but the small class sizes. So average class size is around 15 students. Like I said, we are an American institution, so we are an American accredited institution. You can get that degree and bring it back to the US. But I will go over the tuition and the campuses. If you're also taking notes, I have a QR code at the end that will have all of the information I've covered. A few things to know right off the bat. So we are very big into experiential learning. We really love to use Rome as a resource because it's such a good resource to have as a student. I think that there's an abundance of things in Rome that you can do to, get involved not only in academics, but just in life. I mean, no matter what you're interested in, if it's history or art or food or literature or culture, I mean, Rome has an abundance of it. So that's very useful as a student. And I can tell you from my experience, it's different, when you actually get to leave the classroom and go outside and, learn through your experiences, that's what actually sticks with you in your mind. And, you're not just remembering it from a textbook for an exam, but it actually just sticks with you because you experienced it. It's a very multicultural environment at John Cabot. Like I said, we have students from over 70 countries and professors from a lot more countries. So you're constantly mixing with different cultures and learning about people's different backgrounds, which I think is a very important piece to the education. Of course, COVID is a thing, but Italy is doing a lot better than the US, which is great. We're doing everything in the safest way possible. And this past fall and this spring, we've actually been kind of in person doing a hybrid model. We're hoping by fall 2021, we're going to be a lot closer to that, to normalcy, I mean. So we're also being super lenient with refunds. And if you're doing deposits or whatever it is, we're just trying to be as nice as possible. We know that things can be very hard right now for everybody. But we have 14 majors and 19 minors. I studied communications when I was there with a minor in humanistic studies. We have a few resources for, helping you out with certain classes, and the Writing Center is a huge help. You do a lot of writing in a liberal arts education. So I definitely use the Writing Center. If you have some English professors that are there to help you through writer's block, I mean, that's very valuable. So here's our list of majors. I do not have time to go through all of them, of course, but if you guys have questions about ones that you might be interested in, I'd be happy to, answer those later. But yeah, all of these are available for minors, as well as a few more like philosophy and mathematics. So we're big on career services at John Cabot. So we have partnerships with over 650 companies in and outside of Rome. 3 career fairs every year where we bring some of those companies to the campus, and you're actually able to put yourself in that environment. And not only is it a professional environment, but an international professional environment. So I think that's pretty important. And as you can see, over 80% of the students who get an interview actually get that position. We send a lot of students to these companies and organizations. So very likely that you do receive an internship while you're still studying at John Cabot. And I think that just sets you aside from so many other students already. We're a small school, so we put a lot into our student-led clubs and organizations. We have tons of clubs. I think it really reflects Rome and, has something for everybody, and it's what you bring to the table. We have, newspaper club, theater society, fashion club, photography, lots of clubs that kind of interact with the environment around us. Again, going out into Rome and using it as a resource. We do lots of trips and activities, so day trips and weekend trips around Rome, around the cities of Rome. Weekend trips are even longer, so you can sleep in these towns and cities that we take trips to. Activities, we do a bunch of like cooking courses, and you can learn how to cook some pizza in Italy. I mean, you can't leave Italy without learning a few cooking tricks. So we do have athletics. Soccer is our biggest team because it is Italy, and football is big over there. We as well have basketball and volleyball, and we even have a cheerleading squad. So it's a nice mix between American and Italian culture. But yeah, I'll walk you through our campuses a little bit. So this is our Critelli campus, our newest building. Some classrooms, our admissions office, our president's office. All of our buildings are right near each other. They're all on the river. It's, we have an urban campus, so a few minutes walking between each building. We have a lot of terraces on our campuses, so lots of places to go up and study and watch the sunset over Rome. The weather in Rome is beautiful, so it doesn't get too cold year round. But yeah, Tiber campus, another short walk down the river. We have our cafeteria here, a bunch of student service offices and some classrooms. And then we also have our own art studio. I think Rome is a pretty inspirational and artistic city. So if you want to practice your art while you're there, it's nice to have your own space. We do have our own housing, so they're more apartment style. My time is running out, so I'll just skip over to the last slide. And how to apply. I always get this question, how do I apply to an Italian university? But it's just like applying to any other institution in America. So we are on the Common App as well. Our tuition is just under $27,000. We do have some merit-based scholarships and need-based scholarships, but all in all, including the meal plan, health insurance, it's just under $27,000. Biggest merit-based scholarship is just $9,500 a year. But here's that QR code. I'm sorry I went over time, but please scan that if you guys wanted to learn more, get that information that I was just talking about. But again, my name is Ramsey for John Cabot University. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. If you have any questions for John Cabot University, please put it down in the Q&A at the bottom. Next up, we have University of Toronto.
I guess I should unmute myself. Hi, everybody. My name is Courtney. I'm a recruitment officer with the University of Toronto, and thank you again so much for joining us. I know we've got a very small amount of time to talk about one of the world's top universities, so there's 3 key points that I want you to take away from this session. So not only are we Canada's top university, but we're also a network of unique communities right in the heart of one of the most diverse and dynamic regions in the world. And U of T students can mix and match programs and experiences to build truly personalized degrees. So let's go ahead and get started. The University of Toronto is Canada's top university, and we have an incredible reputation for our academics, faculty, and research. Founded in 1827, our faculty, alumni, and students are leaders in discovery and innovation. And in fact, more research-based startups have come out of U of T than any other university in North America. A lot of people know, for example, that insulin was discovered at U of T, but did you know that stem cell research started here too? We've also produced Oscar winners, Olympic champions, prime ministers, Nobel laureates, and best-selling authors like Margaret Atwood and Malcolm Gladwell. The second takeaway is that U of T is a network of unique communities in the heart of one of the most dynamic regions in the world. We've heard lots of other Canadian universities, but one thing that's unique about us is our location in Toronto, where you're just steps from hundreds of vibrant communities and neighborhoods, each with their own distinct character and flavor. The BBC once ranked us as the world's most diverse city, and while there's lots of contenders for that title, we're definitely up there. And in fact, half of Toronto's population was born outside of Canada and speaks languages other than English. And while we are Canada's largest university, each student at U of T is part of a smaller community where you can really feel at home. The first layers of those communities are our campuses. All 3 of our campuses are located within 1 hour of each other in downtown Toronto and the Greater Toronto area. They all offer the same high quality of education, and they're all self-contained, offering everything you need from academic support to student life. When you graduate, you're earning a U of T degree, regardless of which campus you choose. And they do vary, but the important thing to remember is that your quality and experience are going to be similar or the same across all of them. And it's critical to us that every student at U of T has not just a home base, but a team to support you and cheer you on. We want to make sure that you're happy and reaching your full potential, and that's why each of our campuses is also home to a wide range of student services. Your professors and TAs will offer weekly office hours to work with you one-on-one, and you can take advantage of academic and personal counseling as well. U of T students take advantage of these services, and so much so that 91% of our students come back from 91% of our students move on from first year to second year successfully. And the third and final takeaway I mentioned was that U of T students can mix and match their programs to really build a personalized degree. And with over 700 programs, there's no shortage of opportunities to do this. At U of T, many of our programs are available on all 3 campuses, allowing students to choose which environment they'd like to study. Other programs are unique to a campus. So for example, the St. George campus offers over 50 different languages in the arts. Our forensic science program is offered at our U of T Mississauga campus, and our journalism program is offered at our U of T Scarborough campus. We also have the largest and highest ranked faculty of engineering in Canada, with 8 core programs you can apply to directly from high school, including computer, civil, mechanical, and more. And we also have an undecided first year called Track 1, where you can then go into the core 8 after your first year. Lastly, we offer a program called Engineering Science, which is an enriched science program where students spend their first 2 years in high-level multidisciplinary engineering courses, and then go on to a specialized major like aerospace engineering. The 3 remaining communities are the smallest at U of T and are unique to the St. George campus. So first, we have our John H. Daniels Faculty of Architecture, Landscape, and Design, which hosts our Architectural and Visual Studies programs. We also have Kinesiology, which is the study of human movement. And finally, we have our Faculty of Music, and there's no better place to study music than in the heart of downtown Toronto. You can also customize your degree through your co-curricular record, which is a great way to apply what you're learning in the classroom to the real world. And this could be through paid work placements through our co-op and professional experience year co-op program, as well as our research opportunity programs. When it's safe to do so, we send students internationally with our 140 partner institutions on exchange in more than 40 countries. And as Canada's largest university, you can also get involved with any of our over 1,000 student clubs or our 44 varsity blues sports teams. So if this is all sounding good to you, let's talk a bit about how to get there. This is a quick summary of our admissions timeline. You'll find it's pretty similar to schools in the US. We encourage students to submit their initial application by early November, which gives you plenty of time to submit your documents, complete a self-reported grades form, and any other supplemental applications that may be required. And admissions decisions are generally released beginning in the new year and throughout the spring. So keep an eye on your email during that time. We're pleased to offer a range of scholarships varying in value for international students, and applicants are automatically considered for these awards with no separate application required. You can use our Award Explorer to find all scholarships you might be eligible for in your first year and beyond. And our largest scholarship for international students is our Lester B. Pearson International Scholarship, and this covers the cost of 4 years of study. It does require a nomination by your high school, so check back with us in the fall if you're interested. That wraps it up for me. Thanks everyone so much for tuning in. Please feel free to visit our Discover U of T site to sign up for more events. And my colleague Emily is also going to put a link in the chat as well. Thanks again, everybody.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. If you have any questions for University of Toronto, please put it down in the Q&A. At this point in time, we have a few extra minutes, so my presenters for tonight can turn their videos on. I'm going to share my screen with a fantastic question that our attendees probably want to know. You all have the expertise of this thing called the college search or admissions process. So ultimately, we want to hear what advice would you give someone going through the college search process? And we'll just start in presentation order. So American University of Paris, you can go first.
Great. So I always tell students and parents that imagine that you're texting one of your friends or your like parent, for example. You're probably reading the text message with their voice and like thinking of their face and maybe their nonverbal communication since you know them so well. So with that in mind, get to know your admissions counselor, because many times your admissions counselor could be the person reading your application. So it's a lot easier for us to get a sense of who you are if we've had the phone calls, the interview, the emails, or the Zoom exchanges. So just get to know them as best as possible. We love what we do. We're always happy to help you.
Fantastic advice. Thank you. Bishop's University?
I could not agree more with what Jen has said. Try to get to know your admissions officers for sure, so they get to know a little more when you're going to be writing your cover letter to adapt a little more about what they have to say. But another thing I would like to bring up to the table is that if you're not sure about whether meeting the minimum requirement for a school that you're really interested in attending, I would always recommend still applying to that university in hopes that you still get in. For example, Bishop's University is unique in that no matter what, whether you are meeting the minimum requirements or not, we'll still review your actual applications. And from there, we could then tell you what you're missing and how you could achieve your ultimate goals of potentially arriving at Bishop's University. So never limit yourself, still apply whether you feel that you're not able to go in. That would be the second thing I would add onto the table regarding that question.
Thank you. Brock University?
Yeah, I would say think outside the box. Don't necessarily only apply to where your friends are applying right now. You've taken a great first step by watching this presentation, which has wonderful schools from all across the world. So just, now's your time to explore. You're going into college. There's no better time than the present to travel and experience living somewhere new. So just really try to explore the many options out there, because the world has some really amazing institutions that may be a great fit for you outside of the US.
Fantastic. Thank you. John Cabot University?
Yeah, this is what I've been saying for all of these, but I think make sure that you like the surrounding areas, as well as what I agree with what Karen said. That's a very important piece, is keeping an open mind. I was a transfer student to John Cabot University, so I didn't even know it existed when I was first applying. And then after my first year, I found out about it, and obviously it changed my trajectory. So, but I was going to say that I think you need to make sure that you like the surrounding area. And now it's obviously hard to visit places, so definitely use the socials to your advantage. All universities have so much on Instagram and YouTube, and yeah, just watch the campus video, whatever you need to do.
Thank you. Last but not least, University of Toronto.
Yeah, everyone's given really great advice. The only thing I would add is that don't limit yourself to places that your friends are considering. It's okay if your college search looks a little different than the rest of your classmates. I'm from the US and went to U of T, so there's, I think, probably a similar experience. Ramsey, I know you mentioned that you, were an international student at your international university as well. So obviously there's a lot of success stories like us out there of folks who considered schools outside of their state or even outside of their country. So just don't limit yourself to what your peers are doing, and really think about what the best fit for you is using all the tools that we've discussed so far tonight.
Awesome. Thank you, Courtney. All right, we're going to start it all over again, presentation order. This probably has to be my favorite question. We don't have time for, I guess, lengthier answers here. So maybe just keep it brief, really quick. Tell me what's your favorite event or tradition on your campus. And American University of Paris, go ahead and go first.
I mentioned my favorite in the presentation, the World's Fair, but I think my second favorite would be the annual Thanksgiving potluck dinner. Students do have classes on American holidays, not on French holidays, but we do have a giant celebration for Thanksgiving.
Awesome. Thank you. Bishop's University, what's yours?
I would say our biggest, like my favorite event at Bishop's University that we have every year is Winterfest. So we actually build this huge like snow hill where people are actually able to ski and snowboard right in the quad of our campus. We have an ongoing concert going on and a whole bunch of events. So that's one thing that I definitely look forward every single year at Bishop's University.
Fantastic. Thank you. Brock University?
Yeah, so if you know anything about the Niagara region, we are a world famous winemaking region. So at the start of every year in September, we do have the Niagara Grape and Wine Festival, and part of that, we do have our annual Grape Stomp. So you don't need to be a fan of wine to participate. You get into teams, and then every team gets a barrel of grapes, and it's exactly what it sounds like. We do a Grape Stomp, but it really just turns into this massive food fight, and even our university president attends.
Awesome. John Cabot University.
Yeah, I would say in your senior year, it's before the actual graduation and all of that. You basically get to go to like a gala that's just for the seniors, and you get to go to this giant kind of villa mansion above Rome and dress up really nice and look over and have some nice food, drink some wine. It's very Italian, but very fancy, and I feel like you don't really get that experience many places.
Fantastic. Last but not least, University of Toronto.
Yeah, one of my favorite things that every U of T student will do when it's safe to hold large scale events in person, of course, is graduate through the same hall. We have Convocation Hall. It's been around for about 100 years now. It's a really beautiful historic space that's actually being restored at the moment. And I've graduated from there once. I'm hoping to do it again when I get my master's, and every U of T student gets to take part in that tradition and then take photos with the really beautiful scenic backdrop of the downtown right behind them.
Awesome. These all sound super, super fun. And I hope our attendees loved hearing about your traditions, but also really about your advice. And I hope they took note of them as well. So we're at the end of the presentation of the virtual college fair for this evening. Time really does fly when you're having fun. So I'm super sorry that we're kind of done for this evening, but thank you all for joining us, not only as panelists and presenters, but also attendees for this evening. Thank you. Just a couple of housekeeping items before you head out. We do have a quick survey after you close this window, super quickly, 4 questions. Just give us some feedback. We really, really appreciate it. And it'll appear again, once again, after you close this window. So attendees, please give us that feedback. Also sign up for more sessions. This is one of many college presentations for this evening. So please feel free to sign up for more of those. And also a recording will be available of this in the next coming days at stripescan.com/Texas. So please check that out. Maybe your mom missed it out. Maybe your cousin, your friend, or maybe you missed something tonight that you want to look over one more time. Please feel free to check out that recording. Other than that, everybody, thank you all so much for attending, and see you later. Have a great night.